Hi there. Are you considering retiring your old seaming iron with a brand new seaming iron, or yet are you just considering switching from the amber colored seam tape to the white glued seam tape? If you are, there's a couple important things you should know. I'm going to show you coming up. Hi there, if this is our first time meeting, my name is Ruben, and on this channel we make all kinds of how-to videos showing you, explaining to you, actually hands-on demonstrations showing the best way to get professional results out of all of your floor covering needs. If this is your kind of thing, hit the subscribe button. Okay, so first things first, I want to point this out and show you this right off of the bat. If you'll notice, I've just took this off my van shelf and hooked this up and got it warm just as I would on a regular job, like I was going to normally make a carpet seam, okay? I'm going to get real close and let you see how it looks. Okay, so if you'll look right here, all these grooves, I have not done anything. This is just how it looks when you finish making a seam. All of those grooves are filled up with glue, okay? That's how your iron should stay at all times, okay? And now on to the new iron. So this has zero glue on it. It is brand new out of the box, okay? It's not been used yet for a single seam. Look at your other one here. This is my old one, naturally, the one I use all the time. Look at the difference in the two. So before we start making a seam, we need to make this new one look like that, or we're going to have issues with our seam. Okay, so what we're going to do here to break in this brand new iron, first off, I'm going to go ahead and set my temperature down to where I want it at about 2.5 or 3. This iron right here, this is actually a Taylor tool iron, and I like the Teflon top on it right here. Look at that. This thing is hot, and I can touch it. This don't go to 4. Most of the dials will go to 4. This one actually goes to 5, so I might end up using this on about 3 instead of 2.5. We'll see whenever I get to using it and get to comparing it and getting the feel of it and stuff like that. I'll see, because most of your irons will only go to 4, and this one, however, goes to 5. So it reaches the same temperature, 400 degrees. However, it's got more settings for you, okay? That way you can be more precise for your thinner, lower nap carpets, your commercial carpets and stuff like that. That's where the lower temperatures will come in helpful. And also, that is where this Teflon right here will come in helpful. If you ever have put your iron down there, look at this, see here? This, I can't touch that, okay? This iron is so hot on top, and look at there. I can rub that, I can do whatever, okay? This is not hot. However, I don't even want to touch that just for a small second, and it's going to be really hot. And if you have ever put your seaming iron in your seam and start to work with it, and you're like, oh snap, I forgot my roller, and you have to leave it set for a little bit too long, and you go in there to grab your roller and you can't find it, and you got to dig through your toolbox or something for a second. You come back as quick as you can. Well, your carpet here is going to be all hot, and what happens when it gets hot? It wants to curl like that. It don't matter if you get your seam perfect. When your carpet gets hot, it tends to curl like that right there, and that ultimately leads to a gap in your edge of your seam, okay? So this Teflon topping right here is going to prevent your carpet from getting too hot, and it's going to save you some troubles whenever you have to run in the other room and get your roller or your seam weight or whatever it is that you use. Okay, so now with that being said, we're gonna get this thing loaded up and ready to use. Okay, so I am using a S40W seam tape. This is for a medium residential and light commercial work, okay? This is going to be for your thinner carpets. It has a low amount of glue on it, so it's not going to leave such a hump in lighted areas and stuff like that. So it is produced by Stix, Engineered Seam Tape is who does it. The Trax Corporation is who makes this, and they actually supply the southeastern part of the United States. This is the main distributor they supply to all your main manufacturers around this area. So with that being said, let's go ahead and load our iron up. So what I want to do, I'm just going to take and pull me about 3 feet of tape off here. And I'm going to do this right here where you can see what's going on, okay? So, again, this is my brand new iron. I'm going to set it on the tape. And what will happen here, this is a little hot, I can already feel it. What will happen here is whenever I pull this, it's going to pull the glue from the tape right there and actually stick it on the bottom of the iron, because the iron, the bottom of the seam iron, needs to get all loaded up, okay? I want to get real close right here. Okay, so as you can see, this is pulling most of the glue off of the seam tape right here. There's not hardly any glue right here, and you'll be able to see how long it takes for the iron. Let me pull this back. You'll be able to see how long it takes for the iron to get loaded up with glue, because it will start leaving the proper amount of glue, and it is about right there. Okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to take my iron off, and we're going to look right there, because this is it. That looks like it was about an iron length. Okay. So I set my iron here beside the tape. It was actually a little bit more than a complete iron length. And now my iron is going to be completely loaded up with glue. And what that does, notice there's hardly any glue all the way until about right here. This is where I noticed it leaving it, because what happens is it actually loaded up my iron. Look here. So now you see this iron is all loaded up and full of glue. See, the grooves are all filled up with glue. And where that come from was the first bit of glue right here on the seam tape came off the tape and stuck on the iron. That's because that Teflon had to get loaded up with glue, okay? So if you take a brand new iron and start making the seam, you can see here maybe about 1.5 feet. Let's measure that. So you can see it right here where it's all stringy and stuff like that. This is actually where it lifted my iron, because I started seeing this is where it started. It took 14 inches right here is where the glue started getting thick. It took 14 inches for my new iron to get loaded up with glue to where it would start actually leaving glue on the seam tape like it's supposed to when you make a seam, okay? So when I noticed that, you can see this is all the stringy stuff. This is where I pulled my iron up right here, because I noticed it right there, okay? So it took 14 inches to load my seam and iron up with glue. And again, had I just went and started seaming, look at that. There would have been no glue left on my tape if I had just started seaming with a brand new iron, because it would have pulled every bit of that off for 14 inches. Your seam would have failed, came apart, and you would have been repairing, okay? We don't like repairs. Okay, now, so this is my old seam iron, this one right here, and it has the amber colored glue on it right here. This is what I have been using right here. And I'm going to switch and start using the white stuff right here. And I don't want to take this amber colored glue that's loaded up all in my iron and just put it on this white glue here and mix it. So what I want to do is take my old iron and I want to rub it on the carpet and push all that glue out. I might have to turn it over there. Looks like I am going to have to turn it over. And what I want to do is just get all that glue out of the grooves. Again, we don't want that to mix up. Okay, so there it went. Now this is really clean. So if you can see now, I got like 90%. It's almost completely clean from the old glue. There's not hardly nothing in this iron compared to what it was a while ago. Okay, so now that we got all the glue cleaned out of the grooves on this, we need to do the same procedure that we did with the new iron, because now this has no glue on it. So before we make a seam with this, we need to load this seam iron up, load all those grooves up with glue, just as we did the new one, okay? Okay. So I can still see a little bit of the amber glue mixing in with the white. So this is going to be really good for that, because this is going to clean all of that amber glue out and leave nothing but the white glue on the bottom of the iron. I might run out of tape here. Okay, so I am starting to see the glue being left like it should, and we'll see how far that took. Okay, so as you can see, it was about right in here is where it started leaving the proper amount of glue. It pulled a lot of glue off right here. So that one looks like about 12 inches. I think this might be a little bit shorter iron. Okay, so the Roberts is 10 inches and the new Taylor is 10 inches. So like I said, obviously there was a little bit of the amber glue that was left in right here, so that's why it loaded up faster, I'm sure. Now that we got that done, let's take a look at it now. So look at that now. It's all loaded back up with the white glue. Now this iron is ready to start using with white glue and ready to start making seams. Okay, so I hope you was able to benefit something from that when you're switching from your old iron to your new iron. It is really important to break it in just as I demonstrated right there. Or also if you're switching from an amber colored seam tape to a white colored seam tape, it's extremely important to get that amber colored glue off of there and get the white loaded up on your seam iron before you start making seams, okay? I can't exactly explain why. That's what the manufacturer told me to do, okay? So I'm just going to take his word on that one. However, I do know for a fact, and we just demonstrated how much glue got pulled off of this seaming tape right here while using a new iron. That is very important, okay? There's not enough glue right here on this to hold a seam together at all, okay? So it is very important to load your iron up. If you got a brand new iron, load it up with glue before you make your seam. Okay, so don't forget to smash that like button down there, and also to show your support, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Floors by Southern Boys greatly appreciates it, and we are out.